Welcome to the System to Success show. On this show, we'll cover the best growth advice from top CEOs in North America and beyond. On each episode, your host, Jay Crutchfield, he's a former software engineer turned entrepreneur, created and maintained online marketing, online sales, and fulfillment systems for global brands. He offers non-traditional wisdom about business systems mastery, while his guests share the story of how they built their companies. Jay and his guests talk entrepreneurship, digital marketing, strategy, and business principles. But they also talk about what it means to be human with all the ups and downs, advances, and setbacks. And what he does is he takes his information and strategies that has helped catapult global brands and brings that to the small business owner to give them that advantage. Make sure to subscribe and follow for more of these business system mastery principles.
Today's episode of the System to Success show. I'm your host, Jay Crutchfield. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about a big follower count does not equate to a big dollar amount. Oh, shocker for some. All right. And so some of us may be so focused on gaining followers or being discouraged by not having those likes or that engagement or those comments in those social media posts, right? On LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, right? On TikTok, right? We may be a little discouraged when the performance of that video, that image, that text doesn't actually perform the way that we want them to. And I just want to make note of some stats just to lay some context for where we're going here. And so really we know that just because somebody has a big follower count don't mean they have a big dollar amount, right? So Mark Randolph, who's the co-founder of Netflix, right? He has an estimated net worth of $100 million. But guess how many followers he has on Instagram? 27,000, right? All right. So we know that, or some of us may know, I know you've heard of Peloton, right? And so they made $1.8 billion at the end of the 2020 fiscal year. But the CEO, Foley, has under 6,000 followers on Instagram, right? And so I heard a story, a gentleman who was saying that he had over 2 million followers, but was broke. Why? And so all these people are aspiring to have the greatest amount of followers, but they may not be focusing on having a system in place to make sure that when they post, that they're able to bring those potential clients off of the platform into an existing sales process and system that they have set up. And so impact, I would recommend and offer, would be the focus point. Why? Because just because you have a big number of followers don't mean they're engaged, don't mean they're your specific audience. And so you want to be talking to one specific audience, solving one painful problem and making one offer. And so you always have to offer. And sometimes people may be in the comments saying things like, oh, like all you care about is money, or you just want to sell me something, right? And so usually the people that are saying that, they're not making the most impact. They're not always making the most impact. Why? Because successful people aren't usually going to be in the comments speaking negative about somebody else. They're going to be looking to see how they can make a change, right? Okay. I mean, of course, there's always exceptions to that, right? But for the most part, successful people are going to focus on minding their own business, right? And so your business is not, especially when you're starting off, is not to focus on how many likes you're getting, how many comments are there, how people are engaging. Your focus is adding value, and then you add that value, and then eventually you start to make requests for offering more value, because there's only so much value that you're going to be offering for free, right? You're only going to be sharing so much of your time with your audience for free, right? And so for them to get a little bit closer to you, and you'll be able to add more value for them so that they can see more transformation in their life, that's going to require a greater exchange, right? So that you'll feel compensated for the transformation that you're assisting your audience with. All right. So yes, we all want those bigger followings, but that may not be the one thing that you want to focus on. You want to focus on impact, right? You want to focus on solving a painful problem, right? And so that's the shift that was very beneficial for me. Of course, I look at the engagement and see what things are really making an impact for people, what they're liking, what they're vibing to, right? And put more of that type of content out, because the audience will speak to you on that side. But it should not be the focal point. Why? Because you may get discouraged and don't post at all, or don't send out the emails, or you may not post that next podcast episode or YouTube video because of the count. And so the consistency is what really matters. The consistently showing up to the gym, the consistently being there, right? That's what really matters. All right. All right. So really hope you enjoyed this episode of the System to Success show. Make sure to focus on building that impact and making that impact for your audience, and generating that revenue for the transformation that you're providing, and not just that follow account. All right. All right. So make sure to subscribe and follow for more business, system, and marketing mastery principles. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.